Where did Khabib Nurmagomedov go? The undefeated eagle who made the UFC lightweight division look like his personal playground walked out at the top with a perfect record of 29 wins and 0 losses, retired. And then poof, changed roles. Fans want drama, comebacks, big fight announcements. They want another AJ fight or a surprise return. What they got was something subtler, something deeper. In this video, we'll dig into what really happened, why he left when he did, the personal promise that anchored his decision, how he built a legacy beyond fighting, what people still get wrong, and what his life is like now. Ready? Good. Let's get curious and have fun while unpacking Khabib's journey after the octagon. The last bell.
Да, конечно, выступал не за какую-то команду, там был в личном качестве, не за стороной же выступал, но в личном качестве выступал. Но все-таки гражданин России, нам не безразлично, как к нашим гражданам относятся.
When Khabib stepped into UFC 254, facing Justin Gaethje in October 2020, people expected a fight. What they got was a culmination. He won by submission in the second round, pinned down Gaethje, shut down the offense, and once the fight was secure, he did something rare. He stood there, spoke into the mic, and told the world it was over. Not a see you soon. Fada, maybe I'll come back, but this is done. He explained that he had once promised his mother he wouldn't continue fighting without his father by his side. That father, Abdulmanap, had passed away earlier that year. That promise didn't feel like a publicity move. It felt like a boundary, a moral line Khabib didn't want to cross. Frost. Walking away undefeated makes that moment not just a retirement, but a powerful chapter closing. Leaving at your peak is something few do. It means not swaying with calls for one more fight, not capitulating to nostalgia. For Khabib, UFC 254 was both a finale and a statement. This life was mine, and now I choose what comes next. Khabib's decision hit differently because fighters rarely leave like this. Think about it. How many greats go out on top without a loss, without a stumble, without the heartbreaking image of a legend fighting past his prime? Fans expected the usual script. A dominant champion fights, loses eventually, maybe tries a comeback, and the story drags on. But Khabib rewrote that by retiring undefeated at 29-0, he protected his record and the aura around his career. It was a clean ending, the kind people talk about for decades. He didn't let the sport decide for him. He decided for himself. That sense of control is rare in combat sports, where careers often end with broken hands, broken dreams, and financial pressure forcing unwanted returns. Khabib avoided all of that. He also reminded fans that life outside the octagon can be bigger than what happens inside it. His choice showed discipline, the same discipline that made him a champion in the first place. It wasn't just about fighting opponents, it was about fighting the temptation to stay longer than he should. In many ways, UFC 254 wasn't just a last fight, it was a perfect farewell. The loss that wasn't to an opponent.
He's doing a fantastic job of defending. Look at him spinning around. Khabib looking to complete the takedown, and he gets it. Man. Conor gets right up to the cage. Let's see if he can get back up to his feet. It's one of the big questions.
To understand Khabib's retirement properly, you must understand the weight of losing Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. He wasn't just Khabib's father, he was his coach, mentor, and main strategist from his earliest grappling days. His worldview, his discipline, his sense of shame and pride and honor, so much came from that man. When Abdulmanap fell ill with COVID-19, when complications set in, the hole it left was not just emotional but structural. Who would push Khabib in camp in the same way? Who would instill that same mix of discipline and care? After his father's death in mid-2020, Khabib spoke openly. The fight without his father felt like a half fight. He had told his mother he would not continue fighting without his father in his corner. That promise became less a rhetorical device and more of an anchor. Athletes retire for various reasons: age, injury, loss of will. For Khabib, losing a guiding presence made the stakes of fighting not just winning, but something bigger, upholding family, faith, legacy. Once, promises carried more meaning than titles. Abdulmanap wasn't just a coach shouting instructions from the corner. He was the architect of Khabib's entire fighting philosophy. The relentless pressure, the suffocating grappling, the mental toughness, all of it came from years under his father's watchful eye. When that presence was gone, so was the sense of completeness Khabib felt in the cage. He often said training camps felt empty without the man who had built him, guided him, and dreamed alongside him. Winning another belt or adding another number to the record could never replace that loss. The promise to his mother was rooted in respect for the man who shaped his life and career. Retiring after UFC 254 wasn't a weakness, it was honoring the foundation his father had laid. For Khabib, keeping that promise became the ultimate victory, one beyond any title the sport could ever offer. Coaching, mentoring, and passing the torch. Retirement didn't mean silence. It meant a shift in role. Almost immediately, Khabib moved into coaching and mentoring. He became deeply involved in training fighters, especially in Dagestan, with a focus on ending up not just a former champion, but a teacher of champions. The clearest example is Islam Makhachev, a pupil in many respects, who adopted Khabib's Sambo wrestling base, his pressure, his patience, and went on to win the UFC lightweight title. Whenever Khabib shows up in the corner, you can see that intensity, pacing, coaching, strategy, and espousing values of discipline and respect. He also mentors behind the scenes, camps, seminars, selecting fighters, guiding training, nurturing not just physical skill, but mental preparedness. He's chosen to be present. It's not the main event anymore, but it's the backbone of what comes next. In that way, Khabib is doing something more lasting, influencing styles, building techniques, and shaping what lightweight MMA has looked like for decades. Eagle FC, building a fighting promotion.
Seem to have a real personal
When the
dispute.
law gets involved and it gets legal,
Yeah.
it's definitely not.
Yeah, Conor McGregor actually got arrested.
We're not hyping a fight when
see.
that happens.
Is that how we know whether
That's exactly
if
how you know.
somebody goes away in
What's
handcuffs?
crazy is people are even still doubting whether we had something.
Khabib didn't just coach fighters, he built them platform. He acquired and rebranded a promotion into Eagle Fighting Championship, Eagle FC, with a vision: give fighters a path, especially those from Russia, Central Asia, Dagestan, places where talent is rich but exposure is scarce. Eagle FC has held cards internationally, signed former UFC fighters, arranged shows in the United States, in Kazakhstan, and elsewhere. It's a business that is equal parts challenging and gratifying. He's had to deal with matchmaking, logistics, promotion, media, regulatory hurdles far removed from being in the cage. But in doing so, he is constructing a legacy infrastructure, gyms, fighters, promoters who can carry the sport forward. Eagle FC is both stage and incubator. Fighters who may never reach UFC under conventional paths now have credible alternatives. Khabib's business savvy shows that his ambitions after fighting were not lesser, they were broader. Rumors and Comeback offers
Khabib, the Eagle Nurmagomedov!
Fans love comebacks. What if he returns? Is a headline almost every year. Dana White has floated 30-0 returns. Media asks whether a fight remains that would lure him back. Offers have been made. But Khabib's public stance has been consistent. A return would demand months of rigorous preparation, physical risk, and emotional cost. And he isn't willing to give up the life he has chosen. He said the prep time would be too long, the risk too great, the promise too much to violate. He still receives offers, maybe even lucrative ones, but the cost would be steep. Returning to full camp, sacrificing stability, exposure, business, family. For Khabib, the question seems settled. The fight life was meaningful, but what comes after has meaning too. And he's committed to what comes after. In recent interviews, Khabib has made it clear that despite offers pour in, his priorities no longer align with stepping back into the octagon. Physically, the clock for fight camp mode is unforgiving. The weight cuts, the sparring damage, the constant travel. Mentally, the preparation isn't just about training, it's also about resetting one's whole life around impending danger and performance. He has talked about the kind of loss, not of a fight, but of lifestyle, that comes when you commit to that again. He values balance, Family dinners, business meetings, coaching sessions, nights without tape measure worry or performance anxiety. Moreover, he knows what fans want. Big marquee matchups, legacy ties, redemption arcs. Yet he has also said that chasing nostalgia doesn't appeal. The idea of returning just to pad stats, collect paydays, or settle unfinished business rings hollow for him, because the unfinished business was the promise, the integrity, the legacy. He has built something that extends beyond his own fists, a team, a promotion, the mentoring of young talents. So yes, the rumors will continue. Offers will likely never stop. But in Khabib's own mind, the fight story is over. What remains is legacy, influence, and choosing what life looks like when the spotlight dims. Final thoughts?
Governor from Nevada State,
Okay.
I think. Yes, he was there. Like jump, people go crazy, everything, and then police come. They lock us in a lock room. In 2 hours we stay there.
Montage of Khabib coaching, family time, like, subscribe animation. Khabib Nurmagomedov didn't vanish. He transformed. He left the sport undefeated with 29 wins and 0 losses, kept a sacred promise, and traded punches for pedagogy and promotion. His legacy lives on in the fighters he coaches, the organization he built, the values he upholds. Fans may miss the thunderous takedowns, but there's something beautiful in witnessing someone leave on their own terms and invest in what endures. If you appreciated this deeper look into what happened to Khabib, please like, subscribe, and share. What surprised you most? The promise to his mother, the rise of Islam Makhachev, the Eagle FC story, or his decision that returning just wasn't worth the cost? Join in. Let's keep talking.